Hello, I'm Charlotte Cook with your GEUS Yoga. Well, happy spring, and I know everybody's been suffering with allergies in my classes, and so we're going to do a little breathing that might help you with that. Get the tissue ready because this should open up your nose, and I may even have to stop and get one also. This is called Nadi Shanana, or some of you may have heard of it as alternate nostril breathing. Okay, and with breath work or pranayama, we call it yoga, you don't want to do a lot of breath work on your own. It's better to have someone leading you through it, but you'll be fine with this today. We don't ever do it very long at a time, but this is something you can use without me around if your sinuses are stopped up, if you need to open your nose, or just to balance yourself, just to bring yourself into balance. So let's start. You will see it done with the two fingers down, like the sign for the deer, you know, where you make the shadows on the wall. But for most of us, it's easier just to rest our index and middle finger on the bridge of the nose. So you've got the thumb resting on the right nostril and the ring finger resting on the left nostril. Now we're going to close off a nostril in a minute, but do not push on the bulbous part down here. You're going to be pushing up here, just where it begins to narrow. Okay, where, you know, so you don't have to push hard, just closing it off, and you'll get it. Okay, so the starting point is what's important. To start with, you're going to close the right, and you're going to inhale on the left. Yes, close the right, inhale on the left, and immediately close the left, and exhale on the right. Inhale on the right, close, exhale left, inhale left, close. Okay, now stop a moment, because I know y'all weren't ready for that, and you weren't with me, and you think, oh, now I'm messed up. Not so. Okay, so you're going to close on the right, and then I'm going to let you go with it yourself, because my talking may mess up your breath, because my breath may not be exactly with yours. So closing the right, you start with the inhale on the left. You close the left and you exhale on the right. And you inhale on the right. Close, exhale left. Inhale left. And keep going. Okay. You can shut your eyes if you want. I'm not going to do any more with you because I don't want to have to get my nose running here before we have yoga class. Okay, now remove your hand and just go into your normal breathing. And seriously, go ahead and get a tissue and go blow your nose if you need to. Right now, I'm going to give you time to do that and tell you that one thing I wanted to share with you today is that some of the things, besides the obvious flexibility and balance that yoga is good for, is anxiety, and that breath there helps balance and can cause us to calm down if we're anxious about something. But fatigue, and especially chronic fatigue or pain, things like that, depression, when you are tired and you think, oh, I really don't want to do my practice, and especially with these short segments we're doing here with GEUS, it will restore your energy. I have come to class and just been really tired, worked at something all day, and then 15-20 minutes into our yoga class, I feel so much better. So it's like I've always told people, when you need to go to church is when you're really not wanting to go. That's when you really need to get up and go. It's kind of like that with yoga, okay? So don't abandon your practice. All right. So sitting in Sukhasana, happy pose here. We're going to get your strap. You're going to need your strap in a moment. You can use a scarf or something, or a belt if you don't have this type of strap. So lay your strap across your lap. And let's come into cobbler's pose. or just put the strap where you can reach it when we need it. So remember, one thing your blocks are for is to put underneath, or you can have a towel or a blanket to put underneath the legs to support the legs. You don't want to push down on the inside of the knees to lower your legs down. And you may be way up here. I have people that have their blocks here or under here so they can sit comfortably like that. Wherever you are is fine. But instead of pressing down, because your hips will lock up, you can put your hands here, because just the weight or the presence of your hands touching your leg will remind you to exhale and soften those legs down. But if you press into the heel, it kind of softens the legs down also. So press into the heel, soften, press, and soften. And as we sit here, you can start out here if you need to. Wherever you are is fine. And then as we stay here a moment, your legs, can bring the legs in if you're ready to. Breathing in, let's bring our arms up one time, lifting up. Exhale down. Okay, bring your hands under the legs and bring your legs together. Okay. Now, take your right leg under the left one and put your right hand down on your mat and bring the left leg down where that your ankle is resting in the arch of that right foot. Okay. Walk your hands around, bring that right hand kind of back behind you or out to the side, and we're going to twist to the right, but do not twist with your neck to begin with. I want you to twist with the waist, and only twist as you exhale. So you're exhaling, and the legs can move. You don't have to be glued here to the floor with your legs. It's okay for the hips to swivel and move. Exhaling at the waist, then working your way up into the thoracic spine, working your way around. See, my head is still square on my shoulders, and then eventually the last thing to twist is going to be the head, and I'm going to look back over my right shoulder. Feeling the spiral up the spine, breathing in, breathing out. You're leaning into this twist just a little bit. You don't want to lean way over. You want to sit up. You can come up on your fingertips too if you need to, if you have short arms like I do. Staying in your twist. And then as we come back, we're going to bring the head back first. We're just going to unwind the same way we got into the twist, and then the shoulders, and coming back to the center. Okay? While we're here, get hold of this left ankle. Okay, take that strap. If you can't get to your left ankle, take your strap and put it around your ankle. Just work it around there. And that way you've got hold of the strap, and pull that leg back. Okay. You can get hold of the ankle and pull the heel toward the hips. So I'm going to stay here a moment because I know some of you may still be struggling with the getting hold or working your strap through there. And if you can't get the leg back that far, that's okay. You don't want it up here. The idea is to stretch the front of the leg. Okay. All right, bring it back to the front. Bring your legs to the other side. Knees this way, resting the right ankle and top of the left foot. If you use the strap that time, if you want to go ahead and take the strap and lay it across the foot there, so when we get to that part on this side, the strap will be there for you to get hold of the ankle. Remember that this is your yoga, and you may not do it exactly like I do, and if you're you already have a yoga practice, there are a lot of varieties of yoga or styles of yoga and ways of different teachers teach them different ways. So don't think that there's a right and wrong. We're just going to follow the basic poses, but use the strap whenever you need to. So again, we're going to walk the left hand back around us, around behind us, not around us. I wish. My arms will never go all the way around me. Okay, and bring the front hand over to that leg. So you're twisting at the waist, and you notice how different this side is from the other side. And twist, twisting around. Adjust the legs so you can twist. Look back over the left shoulder. Breathing in, lengthening the spine, being aware of the twist and the spiral in the back. Opening the shoulders. Opening across the sternum. Which, opening across the sternum and opening this front muscle on the leg. We'll get back to that in a moment. To go ahead and bring the head back square on your shoulders and untwist. But that is one of the reasons we do this pose. And get hold of your strap or get hold of your ankle. Pull that leg back, because we do a lot of forward bends and bending forward in our regular standing poses in our practice. So the front of our body does not get opened and stretched as much as the back of the body. And so do you know what happens when that happens as we age? Instead of being here, the muscles in the front of that finger are going to shorten and we're going to end up hunched forward because the back of our body is long but the front's not. So we want to keep these muscles lengthened too. Bring this leg back. Bring both legs out in front of you. If you're sitting on your blanket, grounded through your sit bones. Get your strap. Bring the right leg in. Lay the knee out to the side. Put the foot into the inner thigh. Flex the ankle up. Sit up tall. Put the strap around the ball of your foot. And this is important that you have it around the ball of the foot. You don't want the strap down here in your arch. I know that's where it wants to go, and sometimes you have to keep working it up. But have the strap around the ball of the foot right below the toes. We're just going to do a forward bend. Wrap the strap through your hands. Soften the grip. Don't do this. Gotta keep the arms soft, the hands soft. Inhale, lengthening. Exhale, gonna just hinge forward. Inhale, bring the breath from the groin up to the crown of your head. You're lengthening the front of the body. Pretend there's a strand coming from the crown of your head down to the sacrum, the lower hips, down kind of toward the tailbone, so that your back and your neck and head is one unit, so that you can't do this. Your neck will not bend. You're going to hinge toward the leg. The hinge is here where your leg attaches to your torso at the crease of the top leg. So exhale, hinging forward, leading with your heart. Soften your shoulders down. Let the bottom part of your shoulder blades seat into the body as if they're pushing forward a little bit. Breathing in, breathing out, exhaling forward. Let the breath do the work. Let the breath guide you. Allow your body and your mind to just surrender to the breath here. As you breathe out, you can wrap the strap through the hands as you come down. You can even drop the strap if you want and touch the leg. but it makes it easier to keep your ankle flexed if you have the strap. And that's important too, to keep the ankle flexed. And I realize that if you are up here, that you may not be where I am. Everybody's at a different place. But if you are up here, that's just fine. I'd rather you be here, your chest open, the back straight, than to be here. Okay? Soften the strap, the grip on your strap, and you'll notice how your body relaxes into the pose. I call that nodding into the pose. Inhale, lengthening. Exhale, folding forward. There comes a point where your back will begin to round down a little bit when you get to a certain point. But we want to continually try to keep our back straight, at least now in this pose. Slowly come up. Okay. Right leg out. A couple ankle rolls, wiggle your toes and feet. Now, left leg in. Just hug it up to your chest a moment. Sit up straight. Lower it out to the side. Bring the foot in. If you can't get this foot up here, or if that hurts your knees, if you need to do this with a leg out here and a block, I would say adjust it to where you are. So if we were in class, I would be able to see and I would know what I need to tell you. So I'll be repeating some things that may not apply to you, but it will to somebody out there. So strap the ball of the foot, wrap the strap through the hands, and I say wrap it because that way you can hold it instead of gripping it like this. You grip like that, your muscles are tense, and your legs, your muscles are going to be like that stubborn horse. If you're gripping that reins, it's not going to respond well to you. So we want to be gentle. Inhale, pressing the heel away, sitting up tall and straight, the strand coming up through the crown of the head, keeping our backs and our spine, our neck straight. Exhale, leading with your heart. Inhale, lengthening this front of the body. Exhale, leading with the heart. Don't reach forward and let the front of your body close off. Keep the arms out and back enough that your chest is open. Exhale, hinging down. Inhale, lengthening. Exhale, hinging down. Inhale, press, keeping that heel pressed away. That extended leg is activated. Working your way down. Exhaling forward. Inhale, lengthening. The breath coming from the groin area up the front of the body as you exhale down. Let the breath lead you. Nod into the pose and bring my leg in. Its tendency, it's going out. You can make your adjustments that you need. And up. Back into cobbler's pose. While you have that strap, put it underneath your feet. Wrap your hands. Walk back and forth in your sit bones. Grounded. Bring them in if you want to with your strap. Sometimes it's easier to do with your strap than to force them in. Don't ever force them in. Don't ever go beyond your flexibility edge. Okay. You see where we're going to go from here is into a down dog. So come into a table pose. This is your table. Your arms and your thighs are your table pose. Now we're going to do a three-legged dog. Okay, inhale up on the toes. Exhale, lead with your hips, pressing away. If you need to keep your knees bent, I'd rather your knees be bent and the front of the body long then you be here in your dog. Remember, you want to press the weight back into the legs. Feel the space in the side ribs. Okay, and then you're going to inhale, and you're going to lift up this left leg. You're opening it to the side and looking up under your arm. And down. And the other leg, inhale up, look under the opposite arm, opening it to the side. This is a hip opener. Down. Exhale down to your knees. Okay, if you couldn't do that from down dog, here's your variation. You're going to come into table, and we're going to do it from here. So if that was hard for you to come into down dog and stay on, you will, to begin with, we're going to lift this left leg back and press through the top of your right foot into the mat, take some pressure on your knee, and open the leg out to the side. And look over the shoulder. See, I'm not looking under this time. Okay. And down. Extend the right leg up, open to the side, and look over the right shoulder. Breathe. And down. Okay, now we're going to learn a pose you haven't learned in the GEUS yoga classes yet. We're going to do a Sphinx pose. So we're going to step down into step our feet back, just come up on your toes and come down to your belly. Okay, so you're on your elbows. So your elbows are under your shoulders, and your fingers are spread. So don't put all the weight into the elbows, but you're going to distribute the weight through the forearm and all the way up through your fingers. You're going to tuck your tailbone under and walk your hips out of your lower back. Your feet are hip width apart, tops of the feet on the mat. Okay, as I walked my hips back, you can see my shoulders came back, so now my elbows are not under my shoulders. This may be as far as you want to come. If it's hard on your lower back, you will just have to move your arms out in front of you a little more. Okay, if you get a toe cramp, which happens a lot, come up on your toes and just straighten that toe out, that foot out. Otherwise, if your back is fine, you want to gently press your pelvis into the mat, protecting your lower back so the tailbone's reaching down towards your heels. And then I'm going to bring my elbows back under my shoulders a little more. You don't have to kick the chin way up. You can just kind of look at the end of your mat. As you breathe in, follow the breath through the nose and the curve of your throat and the curve of your chest, down into the belly, softening the shoulders down. Follow that breath in and out. It's coming in and it's just curving down through the body. Well, curving this way, but making that arc from the nose down to the belly. Distributing the weight evenly through the lower arms. And as you're here in the pose, you can inch the legs back a little more, make that space in the lower back, lifting up out of the back. Thus, a Sphinx pose. So you know at least what this one is supposed to look like, right? Soften the shoulders. Stack your hands. Rest your forehead on your hands. And come down and release your back. Take a rest breath there, and you might just stay there and be resting just a moment. And I'm going to show you upward facing dog while we're here. So I want you to watch first. So inhaling up on the arms, and go ahead and You will slide your hands back where your fingertips are in line with your arms and the elbows are up. Okay, and we're going to come up in what's called upward facing dog. So I'm going to lift up and drag forward and press to the tops of the feet for a second. Then I'm going to come back down. Okay, and let myself back down. Most of the time, when you do this pose, what happens, your arms are too far up here. So when you come up, you're having to push the chest back, see? That's not what we want. We want the arms here, so we're lifting the chest forward. The action is forward. So you're inhaling, lifting up, pulling forward a little bit, see? And press back to your knees. You go ahead and try it now. Then press back to your knees. And then come into what we call puppy. You will leave the hips up in the air and lower your head down to your bridge or to a block. Bring your back into neutral. And then eventually pushing back into child's pose. To bring the knees apart. Think, as you're here in child's pose, think of the arc of the body. You're pressing the hips down towards your heels, lengthening the back, the lower back out, and thinking of that curve coming all the way to your head. Go ahead and take a few breaths there. And come down to your back. Okay, come to your back. Okay, put your left foot on top of your right knee. Take your right hand over to the left knee and roll your hips to the right. Looking to the right, or you can look straight up. Try to keep your left shoulder and hand facing the ceiling. And if you want more stretch in the hip, you can straighten the leg and bring the toe over to the floor. And back. If you've got a blanket, you'll need to move that out of the way. Right foot up on top of the left knee. Take the left hand over. Just pull the legs and hips to the left. Again, if you want more stretch, straighten the right leg. Got a pillow in my way over there, but bringing it back, coming back to center. And then go ahead and stay on your back. I'm going to come up and talk to you just a moment. If you feel more comfortable sitting up, feel free to sit up. Actually, folks, I'm going to read something to you here. It's my favorite book that I share in yoga, and I was looking at this earlier. So staying with your breath, breathing in and breathing out, just following the breath all the way in, follow your breath all the way out. You'll notice how the breath just bridges into the next without any effort on your part. And at the bottom of that out breath, there's a little space there where you can just fall into that space. It's almost like a little pause that you probably never noticed was there. So breathing in, breathing out. Just you and your breath. Just this moment. taking care of yourself is a simple act with profound consequences. The better and more often you care for yourself, the more you will align with the universe. Namaste. From my spirit to your spirit, I'm Charlotte Cook with GEUS Your Yoga. Shine on.
This video has been brought to you by GEUS 34. GEUS is your community-owned provider for electric, internet, cable TV, and true local programming.